Well, you know what? As a coach, and Sahara's already heard me say this twice on the radio and on TV, but as a coach, when you coach this really experienced team, you kind of forget the first game jitters exist. And I think you could see that a little bit when we started. But what I was really proud of was the fact that it was really on one end. It was on the offensive end. And I think we were just wanting every basket to go on and everything to go really well. And on the defensive end, I thought we did really a great job, especially throughout most of the game, really until the last couple minutes. But I feel like I think Raegan just does a phenomenal job of understanding angles and paint protection and helping us, and we've needed that. I think Sahara's done an incredible job of bringing the intensity every day that it's just been easy to translate over into games. So excited about this game. A lot of film to watch. You can see that we're getting better, and you can see that we got a long way to go.
Jennie, you didn't shoot the three real well. So the game offensively was probably harder than we think. I mean, but your team wins by so much because defensively you dominated this game.
Well, and I don't want to underestimate, and I should have said this in the opening statement, but I don't want to underestimate Southern. I mean, they're scrappy. I thought we're going to come away with this saying we got to be a heck of a lot tougher than we were. And we got to take care of the ball. We got to value it a little bit more. They beat us to way too many loose balls. But I do feel like you're right. I think some of our shots, I think we were trying a little too hard. I think we got a little stagnant on offense. We'll get better ball movement. We'll get better player movement. But you can see that some of the things that we were trying to do, I think we got a little bit better.
Sahara, from your perspective, what's the biggest change with Raegan now part of this team? Obviously, almost everybody coming back from last year's team. You had that piece.
Definitely an interior presence, offensively and defensively. Having to adjust with her has been great. I don't know. I think it's just been great. She's been a great addition to this team, and I think I could speak for the rest of the girls on this team. But just having her presence defensively has been incredible. Like, she's a great rim protector, like Jennie said, great paint protector, but also she brings it every day in practice. She pushes everyone else around her. So just having, like Jennie said, an experienced player to add to this team, like, that's crazy. So I'm excited for the rest of this season.
First game jitters, Cozy was a firm one to settle in, knowing that your experience in college basketball and this team together, to kind of get that going as the first quarter wore on.
This team, I realize, has done a great job of getting over that. I feel like we do a really good job of coming together and encouraging one another when those things do happen. Obviously, I had a really rough start, missed layup, turnover, but the minute, every single time that happened, there was someone next to me saying, hey, you're good. Or I heard it from the bench saying, hey, next play. And so I feel like this team does a phenomenal job of doing that. Turnovers are going to happen. Missed shots are going to happen, but next play. You got to move on, you got to defend. And this team does a phenomenal job of picking each other up when those things do happen, and that's what just helps get those jitters out, and that's what helped today.
Jennie, your rotation seems to, or the rotation I presume you're going to have for most, if not all, of the season, is super deep. And is it going to take time to find the rhythm, the pace you want to play with? I know it's a lot of the same players that played last year, but maybe they're not playing as many minutes. Maybe they're coming in at different times in the game. Or just the jitters and, next time out, you're going to score 100, we're all going to be looking at that.
I don't think it's as simple as one or the other, but I do think I do think it's going to take us some time, And now I also will say there were a lot of dead balls tonight where we've got to be able to grab it and keep the ball in play. I think that's where we really want the game to go. But when there are a lot of dead balls, I think what we did a nice job is we really extended possessions. Now, Southern ran through a lot of stuff, but they got late shot clock a lot, where I think some of that was our defense, some of that was their set by design. So we've got to be able to find ways to quicken that up. However, it's going to be really challenging to find all of our rotations because we are deep. We have a really good team. Even a week or two ago, we were asking, okay, how many minutes do you think she should play? How many minutes do you think she should play? And, you could literally make an argument that we want 300 minutes a game. You know what I mean? And so I think we can't go down that path. So the more mature our team is, the more that we understand end goal in sight, the stronger that we will be. But it will take us at least all non-conference, I think, to really get that rotation down. And sometimes it will depend on your opponent.
Talk about the rotation and Ty Vaughn was one of the first to come off the bench for you already. What goes into that decision for somebody that young getting out there that early?
Zai can play. I mean, she can play, and she has shown it in practice. She's got a great feel for the game, and she doesn't have to overthink the game because she's playing with so much experience that she can literally just play. And so you want to be able to put her, on the floor to be able to just play. She also provides a great defensive element for us. I mean, she's in shape. She's an athletic guard. She wants to guard. She's another one I think that's a winner. But, I mean, I don't think any one of these guys would question that decision.
And just on her, you get her out there, Skylar's on the floor at the same time. You talked about it.
Told you, Skylar's not very nice to her. Yeah. She doesn't even give her rides. I think these two probably have to.
Oh, gee, that's funny.
Just, what is that like to have those two and able to use them on the floor at the same time, especially sisters who haven't played together?
Yeah. Well, and that's incredible. I mean, it's really, really special, obviously. I mean, I think I yelled the entire game, and I think I smiled the one time that Zaya made the pass to Sky. Because, you want to remember that. That's a pretty cool moment. Most of the time when you have sisters on the team, they're twins, right? And they've played together forever, and they know each other, and, or they're a couple years apart, and they know each other so well. But these guys, they haven't. And they're different positions, and they're completely different players. And so, I don't know. I think that was pretty special. But again, if you came to practice every day, you wouldn't know. Now, maybe in the locker room, they're sisters, but I don't think so.
The pace that this team has played with, and I presume imagines it still will play with, is that different for you? Is it fun? Is it challenging?
Yeah.
How do you describe it?
All of the above. Very new, very different than Oregon State. Very much going from a set play to now it's very much a read and react and a lot faster. But it's super fun. It's been challenging, but this group has done a great job of kind of being there because I messed up a lot more than I have succeeded probably. And so it's been super nice to have Liz back, especially her, just kind of going through that with her. Because obviously she came back from that injury last year, and so having her as that low post presence and knowing what to do and what to go to, and obviously Skylar with her physicality and how she handled last year, she was the 5. So obviously she has all that experience that she's giving to me now, and so it's a different pace, it's challenging, still got to get my legs under me a little bit, but it's going to be fun.
Sahara, last week you talked a lot about your off-season job. Talked a lot about being more comfortable. Can you talk about letting it rip from deep like that? How much is that a part of your game that you're happy to kind of filter in here this year?
I've worked on it a lot in the off season. I think Jennie and I put a lot of time into just getting confident and getting comfortable around the arc and just letting it fly because it'll expand the game. It plays into our system. I think we shoot a lot of threes. So it's really just about getting confident with it and just repping it out and getting comfortable. And I think that's kind of helped me expand my game.
It's kind of the balance between like finding your spots or like wanting to be more aggressive and then like refining it down and finding like when you want to.
I think a lot of the shots find me. I don't really force a lot of shots, and I think with the system that we play in, anybody on any given day can score a lot, can score a ton, can score easily. So just flowing in with our offense, trusting the system, trusting that my teammates will make the right reads for me, and not I always have to work to get them. So I think just understanding the system a lot better as well, and understanding where my shots will come from, and I think that's just with getting in, talking to Jennie a lot, and just understanding what my role for this team will be.
Getting kind of off the beaten path a little bit. What's it like to see SEC as a unique thing where they put the word graduate on a player's jersey?
You could see it.
You can see it. It's there. Yes.
What does that mean to you to see a student athlete out there with the word graduate on their jersey? How special is that?
Well, it's special, and obviously it's incredible when you have players have a degree that you're coaching. I mean, I think that's sometimes we forget that, especially today. We forget that they come to college to earn their degree, and then you have everything else, right? And so we do kind of tend to forget that. What's really special on our team is that we have so many, and they've stayed, and they came for their 5th year, and in Liz's case, her 6th year. And so it really talks to the foundation of the program. And then it's really neat to be able to see how many of them have their undergraduate degree and are going to get their master's. And so they're going to leave You know, some of them never thought that they would have ever gone to college, let alone be with a master's degree. That's incredible. And I think OU is a really special place that when you start that master's degree, you get to finish it. And that's important to us. That's important to our program and the women in our program. And so I think that's been pretty cool to be able to see that. But again, I think it goes to the foundation of the program and the culture that has been here a long time, that these women, you know, we're just gatekeepers of it, so we get to keep enhancing it.
I got one off the beaten track question for you as well.
Just one?
Just one.
Okay.
I went through your roster, I think you bring back 11 players.
Okay.
And in this day in college athletics, when coaches are pulling their hair out about the portal and losing players and remaking rosters season after season, you haven't had to do that. What's your secret? Is it easier with women, do you think? And anyway, what's your secret?
Well, I don't want to speak on the difference between men and women, because then we really could be here all day. But I do think there's something really special about the culture of this program. And again, we're the gatekeepers of it, but they have to really like and love each other, right? And some days you don't like each other when you really love each other. And so it has to be a little bit deeper. I think everybody that we have had come from the transfer portal has a really unique situation as to why they're here. And they're not somebody that, they don't just fix a hole for us. I mean, obviously, Raegan's, a difference maker. She's a post player that we didn't have, but her circumstance and why she changed schools is not like most people's. You don't just all of a sudden go to a different conference. I mean, that was a very unique circumstance. She loved her experience at Oregon State. And so I think that's also the people that we're adding from the transfer portal are people of really high character, and not that other places aren't, but I think it just continues to enhance the culture, and they want to be around each other. I really think it's that simple. I don't think it's that complicated. And then I also do feel like there's an element that they feel like they're getting better. And they get better. Obviously, I think our coaching staff, you get biased because you think you want to do a good job in terms of developing them. But I also think we expect a lot for peer-to-peer teaching. And so I think that they learn from each other. And so when you have people that are in your life that make you better, you don't want to lose that.